And Eddie Van Halen, considered one of the greatest ever rock guitarists, has died at age 65. He was co-founder and lead guitarist, of course, of Van Halen. He'd been suffering from throat cancer. The band, a huge commercial success in the 70s and 80s, selling at least 80 million records worldwide. Its single Jump, now that was a keyboard riff, of course, reached #1 in the American charts. Well, let's speak now to another rock legend. Gene Simmons is there, I think, co-lead singer, of course, of the heavy metal icons Kiss. Gene, I think you're somewhere close to Vancouver in Canada. Thank you very much. I know you've been waiting to talk to us. You must have a trove of amazing memories of all kinds. Retrieve a few for us to help us remember Eddie.
I think, well, I saw them in a club a long time ago, and I was so awed by the class and the grandeur. It's difficult to talk in rock terms with a band that didn't use tapes, didn't use backing tracks, nothing like that. All that music came out of Eddie's hand. I'd never heard any guitar player like that, certainly since Hendrix. But I want to say a moment. For me, it's heartbreaking today because I remember young, innocent Eddie Van Halen, who must have been 20 years old. I took the band into the studio and we recorded 15 songs that I produced. But it ain't about me. I want to take a moment and tell you that it's very seldom you meet somebody who's a pure soul, who's a beautiful person. I never once heard Eddie ever say anything bad about anybody, and especially other bands. And as you can well imagine, this business is full of big egos, yours truly included. Eddie was an aw shucks kind of matter-of-fact guy, and I will tell you, sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. I will tell you a very sad story. I hadn't seen Eddie for years, and I ran into him on Sunset Boulevard, and he had a cigarette in his hand, and I didn't know what to say. How you doing? And he said, yeah, man, I got cancer. What are you going to do? I was just, I was struck by it. And then he did the strangest thing. He opened up his mouth and showed me what his upper palate looked like. And, you know, it's the ravages of cancer. And I wanted to reach out. I didn't know what to do. And he sort of brushed it off. It was kind of like, eh. And you get speechless when you meet somebody who really enjoyed life. I never saw him hang out at the usual clubs where rock stars go for the money and the chicks and all that stuff. Never once saw him. He was always about the music. And if you ever saw Van Halen live, and if you haven't, shame on you, if you ever saw that band live, when Eddie played guitar, he'd be smiling from ear to ear.
I was just looking back, Gene, and I figure that gig you saw, a small Los Angeles club, must have been 76 or so, and I know you helped them make their first demo. You've known him a very long time. He did always look like he was having such a great time, but he really did have a great time, didn't he? He pushed it.
Just, he really lived life the way you should. Just enjoy it. You only get one time around, and my prayers and condolences to his family and his friends, and certainly to the fans. Greatness has passed, and there will never be another like him. Sorry, I'm getting choked up over here.
So many people, Gene, saying wonderful things about him. I've just been reading Tom Morello and Flea as well, saying how influential he was. As a guitarist, he was really melodic, wasn't he? And he could shred with the best of them, but he had a fantastic sense of dynamics. There's a lot of space in those songs.
Eric Clapton once said, it's not what you put into a solo, it's what you leave out. But Eddie Van Halen could do it all. He could amaze you with the speed. He could slow it down and give you that melody that you'd always remember. So here's a piece of advice to all of you who are no longer 20 years old. You grab the nearest Generation X or Z, whatever the hell they're calling themselves, or millennial, grab him by the ear and take him away from the stuff that's being played and sit their asses down and let him hear Van Halen so they understand what greatness is.
We just have a very short amount of time, Gene. Is there one particular thing you'd want to remember from him?
You know, it's funny you say that, because when I heard Eddie passed from cancer, of all things, the first image that struck me was his smile. What an amazing guy.
It's really striking that so many of the images we have of him are of him smiling. Gene Simmons, thank you so much for talking to us at a very difficult time.
All the best.
And to you.